I think Zack Snyder is a great filmmaker, and here's why. It's no secret that Zack Snyder's films can be controversial. This is kind of odd though, because on the surface they don't seem like they should be. But his films are either really loved or really disliked. There's no middle ground. And I can't think of too many other filmmakers who have elicited this kind of response. Because of this, I feel the need to clarify one thing. This video is about why I think Zack Snyder is a great filmmaker. Filmmaking can be subjective, and your experience watching his films may be different from mine. So if you don't enjoy his movies, that's okay. I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong. I simply want to show you why I enjoy his movies. So with that out of the way, here are 3 reasons why I think Zack Snyder is great. The first topic that I want to touch on is the one thing that Zack Snyder is most known for: slow motion. He uses it a lot. I mean, really, a lot. He seems to get negative criticism for what is considered an overload of it. But I think it's important to look at why he uses it. This is what Zack Snyder has to say about slow motion in his films. The use of slow motion to me is a way of just embellishing heroic moments that our heroes go through. Because I think I'm a fan of beautiful classic artwork or paintings. I like to kind of make the moments into those iconographic frames that you can hang on and see. Otherwise, they just go right by and you never have a chance to appreciate the composition, the sort of tension that's created by the characters, and how they're pushing the frame in all the different directions. This is the opposite of what most modern movies are doing these days. The average shot length in films has been slowly decreasing over time. It's beginning to feel like, for me at least, the TikTokification of movies. My guess is that filmmakers don't want to take the risk of lingering on a shot for too long. The audience might get bored, so they make a cut. A great example of this is the film Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This movie is full of beautiful animation created by artists who are some of the best at what they do. The problem is they cut from shots so quickly that I never got a chance to fully appreciate them. That's what I like about Zack Snyder's use of slow motion. It slows the movie down and gives you the opportunity to appreciate the artistry and craftsmanship that goes into a shot. The second topic I want to discuss is that Zack Snyder makes interesting movies. At least, I think he does. But what does this mean? Well, what I mean is that he makes movies that are told from his unique point of view. It may seem like this is what every movie director should be doing, but the reality is movies go through a process called notes. This is when a director receives notes on suggested or sometimes demanded changes to his or her movie. These can be notes from studio executives and notes from test audiences. Studios do this because they feel it gives them a better shot at making a hit movie. They just want to protect their investment after all. But when they feel like audiences won't like the movie, the interference can take on a whole new level. Sometimes to the point where the movie is nothing like what the director originally intended it to be. Zack Snyder, like other filmmakers, has to go through this process. But it seems like he's still able to keep his unique vision more intact than some other directors. He pushes so hard at keeping that vision intact that he's become well known for his director's cuts. More on that in a bit. The reality is that I would much rather watch a film told from the unique view of an artist than one put together in a boardroom. It's just way more interesting to me. Take the Marvel movies for example. Now, there are definitely some good films in that franchise, but they all feel kind of the same. They don't have a unique voice telling a unique point of view. Originally, Marvel's Ant-Man film was supposed to be directed by Edgar Wright, but Edgar eventually left the project due to creative differences. This is what he had to say about the experience. I think the most diplomatic answer is I wanted to make a Marvel movie, but I don't think they really wanted to make an Edgar Wright movie. While the Marvel movies can be entertaining, their lack of a unique vision does make them less interesting to me. Zack Snyder's films, however, are unapologetically his, even his DC ones. They're filled with his trademarks. These include slow motion, low saturated contrasty images, and moody lighting. Even his movies mostly have a common theme of hope. In 300, it's the hope of defending Sparta. In Sucker Punch, it's the hope found in the power of controlling your thoughts, despite the circumstances. And in Man of Steel, it's the hope that Superman himself symbolizes to the world. This is what Zack Snyder has to say about the unique point of view of a filmmaker. There's one tool that you have, that everybody has, and that really is your point of view. What I want from you is the way you see the world, translated into a movie. So the way you visualize a scene is the unique thing that you have that no one but you has. You should do it from your personal perspective. Tell me about the way you see, and that will engage me and it will intrigue me, and I'll see something unique in your vision. That is why Zack Snyder's movies are interesting to me. He has a unique point of view in all his films, and it keeps me engaged and intrigued. And lastly, the third reason why I think Zack Snyder is great is because of his director's cuts. One reason for this is because of what I just discussed. They lean even more into his unique vision than the theatrical versions. The second reason I like his director's cuts, and I'll include his extended versions in here as well, is because they're all better than the theatrical releases. At least they are from my point of view. The extended version of Sucker Punch is better than the theatrical. The same goes for Batman v Superman: The Ultimate Edition. And of course, the Zack Snyder version of Justice League is much better than the confused mess that was the theatrical release. A big reason these director's cuts are better is because the stories are much more fleshed out. An example of this is Batman v Superman. In the theatrical version, the narrative feels muddy. This is especially true when it comes to Superman's reasons for fighting Batman. It just didn't make sense to me why Superman was pushing Batman around. Why not just try and force him to listen to the explanation that Lex Luthor is holding Martha hostage? In the Ultimate Edition, however, we get an extra scene showing Superman questioning citizens of Gotham. It becomes clear that people are afraid of Batman because he's taking things too far. This gives Superman a much better motivation for his fight with Batman. It's important to note that this video is being made before the release of the director's cuts for Rebel Moon, so we'll see if this trend continues. Now, not all directors want to have their own cut separate from the theatrical cut. Christopher Nolan is a director who won't even release deleted scenes. To him, the version that's in theaters is his film. Period. End of story. And I think that's great, because at the end of the day, I want to watch the movie that the director intended. If that's the theatrical cut, great. If it's not, then I definitely want to see a director's cut. It feels like so many movies get changed by studios, and these changes can impact how an audience perceives the film. Even small changes like releasing a film in an aspect ratio the director didn't intend can alter how we view the story and the film as a whole. Zack Snyder doesn't sell for less than what he intended. He pushes for the version of the film that he wants people to see. This leads to a level of integrity in his movies that, at least to me, makes them great. And this is why I love his director's cuts. So those are the 3 reasons why I think Zack Snyder is great. But let me know your thoughts. Do you enjoy his films? Or is he just spectacle over story? Even after watching this video, you may still not agree with me, and that's okay. Thanks for watching.